Hello everyone. Today we are going to be working on installing some taillight gaskets. These parts just came in. I've been super excited for this because not only did we get taillight gaskets, we've also got a third brake light gasket as well, but I also ordered a blank key. This car did not come with any keys. Well, I guess it came with like a cheap blank key, but that package that I ordered, that I kind of brought up a few videos ago, I can finally show what it is. And it is in fact another key. It's the shape of a rotor from the rotary engine. And the reason why I didn't just order, I guess, two of these is because, one, I don't even know if this will even work. And two, I would like to, have at least one OEM key because I know that this will like work and not break off. But not sure about this. I've heard mixed reviews about the quality of this. So that's the plan for today. First off though, I'm going to go to a locksmith and get these keys cut. And to do so, you can either give them a door handle, or you can remove the ignition. But I mean, in order to remove the ignition, there's headless bolts, so you'd have to like make a cut to make it like a flathead. So I'm not gonna do that. And I need to remove one of these door handles, and the guy told me to bring the passenger one in because like it's not used as much. I wish I would have just done the driver's side because that plastic was already down or like ripped a little bit, while this is like not. But that's okay, I can remove it carefully. But so I'm going to remove this door handle first, and then I'm going to go to the locksmith. So going to do that now. So it's been a couple days since the last clip, and my plan for the keys was to originally remove this door handle. However, when I was in there, it was way more complicated. Well, on paper it's not complicated, but way more cramped in there and risk of breaking like a plastic clip. So I was doing some research online on what I could do instead. And if you go to the Mazda dealership, if you supply your VIN and proof of ownership, you can get the key code. There's a 4-digit code that's on the lock cylinder itself on the passenger side door, and the locksmiths will use that key code to create a key. So that was the original plan, was to remove this and bring this to a locksmith. However, it's being difficult, so I was doing some research online and I found a guy named Ray Crow, I guess has been in the rx7 community for a while, and I sent him my VIN and proof of ownership, and he gave me my 4-digit code. So I went to a locksmith with just that, and then I was able to get the actual key cut. And now I've tried the passenger side door, and it locks and then it unlocks. I do not know if this works for the ignition. I will test that soon. But I did also use this. I did some research on this, and I guess this is good for the lock itself. Mine was kind of like catching up on the way out, or the key was at least, and that seems to work so far. So I'm going to apply that to all the lock cylinders. So I'm just going to go ahead and check just the door, the ignition. I know the rear hatch lock works as well. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll start working on the actual installation of the taillight gaskets and all that next. So it's now the next day, but I did get the key, and then in the ignition, it kind of sucked. Honestly, it was like stuck at first, and I had to wiggle it around in there, but that key's staying in there, so this doesn't lock up. Anyways, but now I'm going to actually install the taillight gaskets. A gasket for this, and also a third brake light gasket. And then also we're going to be installing the lock for that. So I'm going to start doing that now. the gaskets really just go around here. It's pretty simple. Well, hopefully it's simple. Yeah, I've never installed a third brake light before, but hopefully I figure it out. Now I also need to figure out how to get this gas door to pop open. The latch itself is not doing anything, so I need to investigate. So I'm going to do that too. So I have determined why this is not working. It's actually broken. So this little thing pushes, or whenever you push or pull the gas, the fuel door lid, this thing goes down, and then it is supposed to retract back to this position, like this little nipple thing. Goes through right there, and then that locks it right there. So whenever you pull it, it pulls down, and then it releases. However, this thing is broken, and the way to make it retract back to that position is with this little spring that fell off, and this spring hooks on, it hooks on right there, and then it's supposed to hook on to this little plastic piece right there, but as you can see, it's broken. So my plan is I'm going to cut up a tiny amount of this, and then try and JB weld it right there just enough so that the bottom half of this can latch onto this. No idea if it's gonna work, but these are you can't find these. You can't find replacements. They're discontinued, obviously. Of course, love that. So I'm gonna try JB weld. I'm gonna try and cut this up, JB weld it, and then I need to leave a little bit of a gap, for the actual spring to hook into place. So I'm gonna try that now. So I've used JB weld now. Looks like the plan is for that spring to be able to hook in there. I really hope it holds, because there's really not much other solutions. I mean, worst case, if this doesn't work, this thing still opens and closes, but I want it to work. So yeah, hopefully this works. But now I'm going to actually install the taillight gaskets now. So I installed this hatch lock now, and it works. However, I have not installed the taillights yet. The only reason why they're in right now is because inside the actual taillight itself, these little studs right here are they're ingrained into the actual taillight itself. However, there's one right there with a nut on it, then one up there. I don't know if you can see it with the nut on it as well. And the actual stud fell out of the taillight, so I'm having a tough time removing, holding the stud and then removing the nut. So I put some JB weld on the end of the stud, and then I put the taillight in. So hopefully tomorrow it has enough strength or enough resistance so I can loosen that nut there as well. And then also one of these studs as well also has the same problem. So I'm just waiting for that to cure, and also waiting for this to cure, and then I hope that works. But honestly, for today, that's probably it. I'm really happy that I got this working. It was kind of tricky. I had no idea how this lock mechanism was supposed to stay in, but I found a little clip that came with it that went on the inside. And then there's this thing right here. I have no idea what it's for, but it fits on it, so that's cool. But I guess that's it for now, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's the next day, and the JB weld has cured, and I mean, it's holding right now. I have the spring connected, and I mean, it is holding. If I move it back, it's holding. Not sure how long it's gonna hold for. And I drilled some holes, ideally for for it to hook into, but the way it's sitting, it does not really want to hook in. So probably just gonna go like this. I mean, and if it does break, it's kind of easy to get to. So I'm gonna try and bolt it back in and see if it still works. Well, this plastic little card broke off, of course. So So I drilled a little hole right there for the spring to go in. And then of course this plastic thing broke off. So I'm gonna try and JB weld it, I guess. I'm not very optimistic, but we'll see how it looks. But in the meantime, I'm gonna investigate those nuts to see if they are going to want to remove themselves. So yeah. Well, the JB weld did not hold up. So now I took a trip to Harbor Freight to get this. So the plan is I'm gonna just brute force this and I'm gonna like grip as strong as I can. And then I'll try and remove the nut on the other side. So I'm gonna try and do that now. And I forgot to mention I also bought this stuff right here to hopefully try and loosen the nut. So, little update. This one just snapped. Oh well. Look how mangled this is. I'm just happy this is removed. I don't care if it's broken or not. The other one, a little more forgiving, I guess, and willing to actually get out. Still so messed up. I got one more to go, but I have to go back to work. I'm sweating, so I'll continue this later. All right, I have now removed all of them and put them back in. I'm trying JB weld again. I think it'll hold up this time. This one couldn't seat properly. Tried hammering it, but it's like in there. But that shouldn't mess with too many, or that shouldn't affect like the fitment, I believe, all that much. And then I put the broken one back in, just because, you know, maybe you can get a nut on there. If not, it's whatever. There's one on that side, so I'm not too concerned about it. But in the meantime, now I'll let that dry. I'm gonna wait a day for that. I'm gonna put the third brake light back on. This gasket is super crusty, and this side was broken. I don't know if I showed this, but I JB welded that, and you know, I think it'll hold. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna install this. So I scraped most of the residue of the old gasket off, but have I ever mentioned that I just love working on old cars? The reason why I say that, because this, I guess there's two parts to the third brake light gasket. There's this that goes around this, including this little black gasket right here, which this is available, but this, you know, this part is no longer available. Love that. And I took, when I was like taking this off, I tried to take it, you know, or sorry, when I was trying to remove it, I tried to remove it like delicately, and I'm kind of happy I did. I know there's a few cracks because without this does not fit at all, like not snug at all. So I guess I'm just gonna take this off, super glue it, and then super glue it to this or something. I don't really know. Very annoying. I love working on old cars. All right, I have now super glued it, and then I need to remove this little adhesive cover, and then I'm going to try and stick it on there. I'm gonna need it, well, now hopefully it'll be snug. All right, the gasket is now on. I put the light on the assembly itself, and then there are two studs, one right there, one right there. That I'm just gonna put this on, and I'll put a nut on it, and I'm gonna do that now. All right, the third brake light is now in. I had to make a trip to Harbor Freight to get a 1/4 inch drive or ratchet, but it's in now. I tried to get the gas or the fuel door mechanism in. It's been really complicated, so that's gonna be in a different video. But really, I'm just gonna wait for this JB weld to cure, which should be tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'm going to put the gaskets in, and then honestly, it should go smoothly tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for now. So it's the next day. I have the gaskets all on, and I have the old hardware here, but it's super rusty and I don't even want to risk putting this back on. So I have some M4 nuts. These are smaller than that, but it threads on so far just fine. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use these instead. So I'm gonna put these on now. God. All right, the taillights are finally in. They're fully bolted in. Oh man, it's coming together. And I also clipped them all in, as you saw. But now I have these back side lights that I'm going to put in now. So I put the side lights on, and then I also found the badges and I put them on the Mazda rx7. And got a lot of stuff done in this video. So now I'm going to head over to the whiteboard, and yeah, so we got the taillights in and they're connected. Third brake light, dub. Hatch lock cylinder, done, installed. We also got the key cut, so I have some keys now. And I believe that's it. I did find the other turn signal connector, so I plugged that in. So I'm just missing the other flash to pass. So yeah, I think that's it for the video. Next week, I believe, or next video, I believe I'm actually gonna put the headliner in. Not sure how much else, like not sure what else for the trim I'm gonna put in. And then I kind of want to see if the engine turns over by hand. Not sure if I'm gonna do that in the next video or what, but super excited for that, and got more to come. I think I found some carpet, so I'm super excited for that as well. So expect headliner, probably carpet, and then maybe I'll check sometime to see if the engine at least turns over by hand. If it does, maybe I'll do a little more investigation, probably not. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone.